Hi everyone, my name is Amber, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the authors that I have given up on. There are quite a few authors that I really like to follow, and I spoke about those in my Auto by Authors video. There are many other authors who I have given up on because either I don't like their books, they've said something awful, or I just have no strong feelings to continue to read their books. So I wanted to tell you who those are. There are 8 people that I want to mention today, and I want you to let me know if you agree with any of these, if you've given up on reading any of their books. Sorry, something just fell on the conservatory roof. Or let me know in the comments below which authors you've given up on, either because they have said something awful or because you just don't like their books anymore. So the first author I want to mention is Rowell Saga. He wrote 4 thriller books and I've read 3 of them. And I really don't think he's very good at writing female characters. And then there was this whole controversy because he chose a gender neutral name in order to perhaps appear female in order to appeal to more readers. And I personally didn't have a problem with that because authors do that all the time. They go back and forth. A lot of authors use initials, but it's often female authors who feel like they have to use initials to be taken seriously, particularly in fantasy. For example, R.F. Kuang, S.H. Chakraborty, they all use initials. And Robin Hobb uses a gender neutral name. And I don't know if that's so that they appeal to more readers or what the reasoning was, but anyway, Rowell Saga used a gender neutral name and a lot of people were very unhappy with him. But my main reason for not continuing with his books is because I just didn't enjoy them that much. I feel like he had really good concepts with them, particularly with Final Girls, which I was so excited for. And they just didn't turn out that well, mainly I think because of the characterization. The next author I want to mention is Christina Lauren, who is actually a team of 2 authors. They tend to write adult romance books, and to be honest, I found them all to be the same. I was going to do a Christina Lauren project, kind of like my Ruth Ware one, in which I read all of their books and figure out which book is their best work, so you know which one to start with. But I couldn't do it anymore. I read maybe 5 of their books, and the first one I read was awful, but then the others got better. But they still weren't anything amazing, and they all started to feel the same. And it wasn't even as though I was reading them back to back, so I needed a break between all of the adult romance that I was reading. They just felt the same, and I knew going into a Christina Lauren book exactly what I would get, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I'm really sorry about this, whatever it is that's hitting the conservatory roof. I just found them really repetitive, and I don't really want to read any more of their books. I might give them a go in the future if I'm in the mood for exactly what they offer, but to be honest, there's probably better adult romance out there that I could read, so I probably won't check out any more of their books. Then there's Scott Lynch, who started writing the Gentleman Bastard series and then stopped because he was struggling with his mental health, and he was taking forever to write the 4th one. He was just really struggling with it. I think he went through a divorce and then a marriage. So I was waiting quite keenly for the 4th book, even though the 3rd book wasn't great. And then a few months ago, some people spoke up about his behaviour, and I'm not going to say anything here because I don't want to be sued, but I personally, in my opinion, don't think he sounds like a very nice person, nor does his wife. So I won't be continuing with the Gentleman Bastard series. It's a real shame because I really enjoyed The Lies of Locke Lamora, but as the series went on, I didn't really enjoy it all that much, and I don't think my ship is going to work out anyway. So if I don't carry on with the series when it eventually continues, I don't think I'm going to be missing out on much. Next we have Kendare Blake, who is a YA author. I read her Anna Dressed in Blood series. Actually, I only read the first one because I didn't really like it, so I didn't carry on. And then I have also been reading her 3 Dark Crowns series, and I haven't finished that yet, but I do plan to, so I haven't immediately given up on her. But to be honest, I think after reading the series, I'm not going to continue reading her books just because she's not really an author that clicks with me. I find her books very generic. The ships are always quite boring, and I don't really get that much out of them, and I personally think there's better YA fantasy out there, so I don't really feel the need to pick up any more of her books because she's not a favourite author of mine. So I'm probably not going to pick up any more by her in the future, unless one of the concepts of her future books really grips me, because maybe she will come out with a really good idea, but as it stands, her writing doesn't particularly appeal to me. This next one is kind of controversial, I guess, and that's Gaiman. I am not a fan of his books, so I did enjoy the Graveyard book. I gave it 3 stars, and I also really want to read Coraline, just because I've seen the film and I know how creepy it is, and I think in book form it might also be really creepy. Any other book I've read by him I have disliked. I don't like his writing style. I personally think his books are overrated, and I'm sorry, but I really don't want to carry on reading his books. I've got no interest in reading any in the future. I think I've read maybe 4 or 5 by him now, and I've only enjoyed the Graveyard books, so I don't really want to carry on with any of his stuff. There was also a time back in the day when a book blogger was stalked by an author, And in my opinion, he basically implied on Twitter that it was the book blogger's fault for catfishing the author and using a fake name. So after that, I just really was not a fan of him or his books. So I don't know, I was tempted to read American Gods, but honestly it seems really long and a lot of people haven't really liked it. So considering he's an author that I don't normally enjoy, I don't think it's really worth the effort of checking it out. So I might read Coraline, but I think that's it for Neil Gaiman for me, because I'm not a fan of his writing. Then we have Robert Galbraith, or J.K. Rowling. Enough said about that. She has said some really awful things in my opinion on Twitter, and I don't want to support her, so I'm giving up on her and her pen names. One thing I am really struggling with in regards to her is the Harry Potter illustrated editions, because I am a massive fan of the illustrator and I've seen him at a few events and he just seems like the loveliest person. I really want to support him, but at the same time, if I support him, I'd also be giving money to J.K. Rowling, so I need to find out other ways to support him, because I don't want to give her any more money. She doesn't need my money. I don't want her to have my money. Another author I no longer want to read is Rainbow Rowell. So I did admittedly recently read Pumpkinheads and I did really enjoy it. So if she comes out with any similar graphic novels around the same theme or the same characters, I might check those out, but I have no interest in reading her YA books anymore or her adult books. So I read Eleanor and Park when I was younger, a lot younger, and I did enjoy it. I read Fangirl and I really enjoyed that. Since then, I've had no interest in her YA books. The Carry On series I just do not care about. I find it really weird that she has written a book based on her fan fiction that's based on Harry Potter, but it's also within a previous book series. It's just a very strange thing to me. And I also tried her adult books. I tried reading Attachments and it was just a bit skeevy, so I don't really want to read the rest of her adult books either. So I've given up on her. I don't really care to read any more of her books, unless it is again following the Pumpkinheads characters, because I really like them. And finally, there is Jennifer L. Armentrout. So my history with her is not all that exciting. I don't know why. I'm trying to build it up as though it is. So I read the Lux series, which was basically aliens based on Twilight. So it was the plot of Twilight, but with aliens. And I knew that at the time, but for some reason, they just really sucked me in. She had a really good writing style, I thought, for something like trashy and fast-paced that I was really, really into. So I read, I think, 4 out of 5 books in that series. I definitely haven't read the last one, however many there are. And I'm kind of tempted to finish that off, but I don't know if I ever will. It's just like a feeling that randomly comes over me. And then she also wrote, I think the series is called Half-Life, and that is basically just Vampire Academy. And I have seen on the internet that some people have said in their opinions that she rips off other stories and kind of just twists them a bit to fit her own mold and her own characters. And in my opinion, it sounds like she takes other people's plots and makes them her own, which is fine, like if that's what you want to do, but also it's not very original, is it? I don't know if her newer books are any more original than her older ones. Maybe she was just getting established at that point. And by the way, I'm not saying she plagiarized the books or anything, it's just the plots were very, very similar. But to be honest, after reading her earlier series, I don't really want to carry on with anything else that she's written, just because I don't think her writing clicks that well with me. It certainly doesn't anymore. Anyway, I enjoyed her writing back in the day when I was like 17, maybe up to 20, but 8 years later, I'm just not interested in reading her stuff. Although, like I said, I am kind of tempted to finish off the Lux series, because the last book has been sat on my shelf unread for the past maybe 6-7 years and I still haven't read it, and I kind of want to just get some closure on that ship, even though I don't think I ship it anymore. I just want to give it a go. So those are the 8 authors that I no longer want to read. Let me know in the comments below if you have DNF'd any of these authors, or if there are any that you just do not click with and don't want to read from anymore. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm currently uploading every other day and I'm prepping for Vlogmas, in which I will hopefully be uploading every day, but don't hold me to that because it might just stay as every other. Thanks again for watching and I'll speak to you all in my next video. Bye.